Hey everybody, hope you're doing all right. Oh, I finally not like death rolled over, so my coughing's still a little rough, and my voice ain't completely 100% back. I don't know. It's been about 3 weeks, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'll just keep on medicating and taking, resting all I can, and going from there. See, hopefully everything will be back to normal here soon. I'm hoping so. Because being sick is no fun. It's absolutely ridiculous. But it's that time of year. Everybody's starting to get sick. So, I can't really complain about it a whole lot. And anyway, down here in the South in the fall and winter, if you're not ready for it, it'll catch you off guard. I know I talked about in the spring and summer that it gets really bad hot down here, at least in the 90s and the hundreds, and the humidity on top of that makes it feel even 10 times worse. But in the fall and winter, it really doesn't get that cold in the daytime. Uh, Anywhere from early fall until about maybe December, the daytime highs will be in the 60s and 70s, and the nighttime lows will be in the 40s and 50s, maybe even into the 30s, depending on how far down the cold front gets. Uh, then from December to February, it's still in the 50s and 60s in the daytime, and the 30s and 40s at nighttime. So in the daytime, it ain't really all that bad. Depending on how cold blooded you are, you can get away with maybe in the morning times like a long sleeve shirt. In my evening time, you'll be a short sleeve shirt, but it will mess with your health. How back and forth this weather can be in the in the cold time. When it's supposed to start getting cold now. But that's why I love the South. I ain't got to worry about no snow. I ain't got to worry about it getting real bad cold. I ain't got to worry about ice storms and all that. But when we do get those ice storms and snowstorms, it is absolutely miserable here because we're not set up for stuff like that. The last ice storm we got was in February of this year, and at least where I live out here, we were pretty much, first couple of days, nobody got out and went nowhere. Thankfully, the power stayed on. And, but by the weekend, it was warming up. The ice was starting to melt. Everybody was going back to a normal life, like nothing even happened. And that happened in the middle of February. And by the end of February, the daytime highs were in the 60s and 70s, and the nighttime lows were in the 40s and 50s. So it started to feel like springtime. And you would almost wouldn't believe, if you weren't here when it happened, you never would have believed there was an ice storm that came through. That was like a couple of years ago, right about Christmas time. And we didn't get no ice storm or snowstorm about that time, but we did get a cold front come through that for a couple of days it didn't even get above, I think it was like 12 degrees from Thursday up until Monday. This was around Christmas time. And this year around Christmas time, Sunday was Christmas. Yeah, from Thursday to Monday, It was about 12 degrees for a high, not time lows, around zero into the negatives. And I kid you not, that Monday, we got a little bit of a snowstorm in. As I was at a friend of mine's house. His stepdad got mad because my friend's mom made it was some kind of pie they make over in United Kingdom that his stepdad liked. And we're sitting there eating and enjoying it, and they and his stepdad's got a four-wheel drive, so his stepdad and mom went somewhere and came back. My friend now, he went to get some more of that pie, but he doesn't exactly think when he does stuff sometimes. And he absolutely destroyed that pie and messed it up. Made his stepdad mad. He was gone for a while because he was so mad. And by the time he got back, it was almost ankle deep in snow. And I kid you not, that Tuesday, that falls on a Monday, now fast forward to that Tuesday, it got up to 56 degrees. And, snow melted away. And by that Friday, it was 70 degrees. You never would have believed there was a snowstorm that came through and was having tornadoes by that weekend. If you don't think weather here in the South can get crazy, come down here for a while. It won't take you long to get it figured out. Cause I remember back in the time around 2020, because that's when I messed up my knee real bad, had to walk around on crutches. That whole month, I was talking about the end of the month, that they was suspecting it was going to get some severe weather and maybe a tornado outbreak, which is not unusual here in the South. You get used to those things. I was working, and I was going to the gym working out, and toward the end of the month, I was making preparations to stay with a friend. Me and my dad was, because we live in a mobile home, and they're not suitable for severe weather with, because anybody knows a trailer will not hold up against a tornado or real bad high winds. So I ended up messing my knee up real bad and having surgery on it. This was like a couple of days before all this was supposed to go down. And they put on one of those big old huge knee braces. They got covered up, where they had to do a little surgery when they put on one of those full leg knee braces. Had to walk around on crutches and get around in a wheelchair. And fast forward to a couple of days past Christmas. This was right toward the end of the month. On December 31st, we had a mini tornado outbreak. It was, I'd say, up in the 70s that day. It was a beautiful day. Beautiful December day. You wouldn't have believed it was even December if you was here. And, as the evening came through, the storm started rolling through. It didn't really get that bad. A lot of the storms that were supposed to get real bad either went below where I live at or up above it into Tennessee. And I was like, well, it's getting closer to my bedtime. I was like, well, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to go to bed. Well, right about the time I was going to turn my phone off, we get a tornado warning. And apparently a final cloud came over section. This was like the last wave that was coming through for the night. And then the next day was supposed to get one last round of it. Well, that last bunch I was coming through that night came through and spawned up a final cloud right as it got to where I live at. And it touched down 2 miles down the road and went through Powell's and hit a little bit of rain fell before it lifted back up. Nobody got hurt. There was some sheds that got destroyed. A few houses took some damage, and that was about it. A few trees got knocked down. Well, go on into December 2021. They say it was going to be a little worse that day than it was the day before. So I called up my friend, and she lives in a cabin up close to the Georgia Alabama state line. And I was like, "Is it still all right?" Me and Dad comes there. She said, "Come on, because one of her friends is coming over." Now her daughter was going to be there. Now this lady's up in her 70s, close to 80. Her daughter is I think like late 40s, early 50s at this time. And my dad at this time was late 60s, and I'm in my late 30s at this time. So, it's not like we're going over there to do anything weird, huh? But, I hobbled my butt to the car. We went over there right about the time the tornado sirens in the next town over from where she lived started going. Because where she lived on a pretty close to a edge of a small little mountain that she can look over into the next city. And we got on the back porch, see if we could see anything trying to touch down. We could hear the tornado sirens come off. And you could see a little bit of a funnel cloud, but nothing touched down. And, throughout we got there about 3 o'clock that evening. And all the time we was there, we had a few tornado warnings go off, but to the best of my knowledge, none of them ever touched down. If they did, they wasn't a very big tornado, maybe EF0, and produced maybe straight line wind damage. But believe it or not, when we went to bed, the winds was good. As the back end of that front was coming through, the winds picked up to like 70 miles an hour. You could hear it blowing up against the house. And then the next day, snow came down, which the snow didn't last very long. It was on a Sunday. Because when we woke up, the temperature was dropping throughout the day. And I think the official high for that day was like 67. By the time me and Dad got home, it was done in the 40s, starting to snow. And the snow was on the ground for maybe 2 days. And it was gone over with. It was back to springtime weather in the middle of January. So, yeah, that's how crazy the weather around here can get. But anyway, if those of you that watch this on replay, I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's day, and hope you have a good weekend. Go Gators, go watch some football, and I will see y'all in the next video.